All right, everyone, welcome. We back for the Pokemon retirement home. Let's go.
Wait. It is not the retirement home.
Wait, it's
It is
not?
season. No. It is season 7. We've had a long hiatus and a long break, but we are back with season 7 of the WWCL, not the retirement home.
All right, so I guess the first announcement we got is this is not the retirement home. We're apparently season 7. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, you guys know the voices, but we're going to introduce ourselves again. It's your host, Cash Howard. And on my right, we got the one and only CB.
Hey, welcome. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long time.
Oof, it's been a really, really long time.
I know.
All right, so since this is not the retirement home, I'm throwing away all my retirement home stuff.
Aw, kind of like
Uh,
the retirement home idea.
all right, so we're back for season 7. New pokes, new gen, new everything. Um, so very easy. We're gonna go into let's show you guys who's all coming back, who's all escaping the retirement home. Yo, we got. I guess I'll read off all the ones on our left. We got Shane coaching the Sarasota for Alligators. We got our very own CV coaching the Broken
Hey,
Scissors. They're coming back. We got Nate coming back with the Waterville Weaviles. Blaze coming back with his San Diego Charizards. And Liam now representing the Meowchester United.
that British bastard.
We found our captain Liam, and he went on his boat to go find himself a whole new team.
And we found his first mate, too, in our next coach, Lindo, or aka the Lindomar, of the coach of the Straw Hat Swampers.
Got the first mate and the captain back. All right, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I know, right? Can you believe that?
I cannot. All right, who we got rounding us off, CB?
Oh, right. Next, we have Lime with the problematic Porygons, another returning coach. Then we have Kurt, our fellow Australian. Actually, our only Australian, but that's not the point. Representing the Emerald Enamoruses. Then we have Owen, another returning coach, representing the Carolina Roaring Moon. And then we have you, Cash, representing the New York Needle Kings.
Damn, I really thought this was a retirement home, though.
I know, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
All right. So yeah, we got a lot of our returning faces are back. There's only one fresh face for me, but for CB, this is all returning people.
Yep.
We're gonna see. I mean, me personally, I don't remember the last time I battled anything.
Yeah, we're gonna go with like 2016 as maybe
Okay,
the last time.
Jesus. So we're gonna see what happens in a 6-year gap. What happened to everyone in terms of like battling. So quickly off, let's go. We're gonna go over the rules for how the draft worked. As you can see here, we have a total of 12 Pokemon that you're gonna be able to draft. The Pokemon have to be sorted out. Essentially, you're gonna have one S or A tier Pokemon.
That is correct. And then you're going to have 2B, 2C, 2D, and 1E. And then you'll have 400 points, depending more or less on depending if you chose an S tier Pokemon or an A tier Pokemon. If you chose an S, you would start off with 340 points. And if you chose a regular A, you would start out with 400 free points to choose your last 4 mods.
Yep. So we went on a very extensive
Vacation.
We got our pokes, we got our new teams. So one of the new features with this generation is terrestrialization. I know from the community people are kind of split about it. I think it's something fun. Other
Yeah.
people not as much. So
Can't get worse.
I guess to make it easier on everyone, we're kind of doing things kind of like the last time I think we battled with Z Move with the Z crystals.
That is correct.
Where we have allotted people 6 points to select their captains.
For the Zenus, for their terrestrialization choices. And the Terra must be 1 stab and then 1 non-stab. So players will have to choose between their Pokemon, and then they have to choose one Terra type to choose as their stab, and then one non-stab Terra type. So it could be, for example, we can do a Decidueye, and it can be either Grass or Ghost for the stab, and then you can do Fighting or Fairy or whatever else your heart may think is
Yeah.
best for the situation.
As long as it's not its secondary stab, you're good to go on that. So which again opens up a lot of possibilities, kind of like with the Z move. You didn't know what you were gonna bring in. I think we just allowed something to use a Z move. What
Yes,
you never
correct.
knew was the crystal we were bringing out.
Not until
So
the minute it was revealed.
yeah, so and it literally you only saw when you saw that nice animation coming up, and you're like, "Oh my god,
I'm about to get nuked.
here comes the nuke." Or you could do God plays like I did and stay in on a Victini and live to tell the tale.
Oh my god, I can't believe you made that reference again.
Listen, it's a. I know he's gonna watch the video, and I'm gonna say it now to all of YouTube. When you research your opponent well and you know what your opponent's known to do, you will do what I did. Trust me on this.
It's like,
Um,
trust me, bro, I'm a doctor.
yeah, trust me, bro. I'm a Pokemon master. Trust me on this. Like I don't have my little like credential diploma, but just trust me on this, bro. All right. So going into that, we're gonna show off how people rounded off on their draft selections. Um, so we're gonna start off as opposed to me just showing off how like the draft went. I'm just gonna show off pretty much how each team landed their respective pokes. So without further ado,
We'll start out with our Sarasota Feraligators, coached by Shane, aka Lord of Cold. And so he chose for his S tier Pokemon, he chose Roaring Moon, which means he took a 60-point deduction on his free points. So that means he would start out with 340. So then after that, for his Bs, he chose Zoroark, Hisuian, and Hippowdon. Then for his C's, he chose Tornadus and Avalugg, and then he chose Muck for his D and also Magneton. And then for his E tier, he chose Golduck. And after that, for his free picks, he took Arcanine, Mesper, Gogoat, and regular Charles Paldea. But so now, Cash, I don't know about you, but Roaring Moon is kind of a dangerous wall breaker type Pokemon. It can be run a multitude of different sets. I mean, you can do Sun with it if you want, since that is the prehistoric version. So you can get a free +1 with the abilities, or you can do like a DD set, or you can choose Choice Band or Choice Scarf. Really is a solid mon, and it has a great speed tier stat. It's just a fantastic wall breaker type of Pokemon that you would just love on any team.
I hate to be the guy that has to battle this. Um,
Oh, that is right. He is your weak one, isn't he?
uh,
Oh, well,
so
I'm so sorry.
as you can see, for in terms of the Terra, Shane has selected to use Magneton and his Arcanine. Magneton
Being
having
Grass and Electric, and then Arcanine going with Fire and Fairy. Really solid typings choices there for Arcanine. That's defensively, that gives him a range of insane coverage and resistances, so he can pretty much choose to defend or use it offensively either way he wants, because that gives him insane resists.
I think pretty
Um,
much with Magneton's the same thing. Getting that Grass Terra removes that obvious ground
Ground
weakness.
weakness, yeah, that's true. Also opens them up to fire, but still,
Yeah,
regardless, it's
so leaves
still,
the fire, but essentially the ground and the fighting. I forgot those are
yeah,
essentially eliminated.
essentially.
Yeah, so he has his options either offensively or defensively. So we'll see. We'll
Absolutely.
see how the Sarasota for Alligator run. Shane's always been a very top competitor in the
And Lee,
WWCL.
yeah, he has been. He usually loves to choose his bulky offense. He usually likes to go on the heavy, bulky side because he loves his walls, and then he usually prefers to have them just be that absorbing force of wearing your opponent down, and then he can just bring in his dangerous wall breakers or something like that to just finish you off. And usually that is how Shane likes to play, and we'll always wonder if we'll see that again as in return.
All right, moving on to our second code, which we know all too well. Got the Brooklyn Scissors.
Hey, it's me.
Crafting that S tier Iron Valiant.
Yeah, so with the second pick, I really was like, well, what do I want here? So I was like, well, I might as well go for the really good things. And I've played a little bit with Iron Valiant, and it is I will say, Cash, it is very, very fun because it can go mixed, or it can go special, or it can go physical, and you can do Calm Mind, you can do Swords Dance, you can do like a Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Energy Booster, which is just it gives you a free +1 stat whenever you enter the battle, or that one time
Okay.
you enter the battle.
Yep.
And it gives you a free +1 stat on your highest stat. So if your attack invested, +1 attack. Not completely +1. I forget. I know. I remember hearing that it's not a free. It's not technically +1. It's like a 30% or something like that. But whatever. Regardless, it gives you a free stat boost. So I thought that was a great to hear pick up with psychic fighting. I mean, it's not psychic fighting. Fairy fighting is like such a cool typing, and the coverage is on options on that thing is insane. So I figured with a good high, and it is really good speeds here at like 116, 117, maybe a little bit more. Can't remember
It's a great
exactly.
pickup.
So I thought that was a great pickup. And then for my next B tiers, I thought, well, what does Iron Valiant need? Well, he would like some support, a nice tanking Pokemon to help absorb hits from things that he might not be able to kill right away, but if they're just whittled down and put into the position where his next attack can, once he can just tank a little bit, once they can take them or just chip them down, I was like, you know what? That's perfect then. Let's go with a Gudra, a nice, really tanky dragon, also helping me complete a part of a Fairy Dragon Steel Core. And then I chose Azelf because it's a very fast psychic with insane coverage moves, and it can run a multitude of different sets. And then I chose Overquill for hazard stacking because it also has access to toxic spikes and regular spikes. So that is always so nice for teams like that, especially
That's
with
like I
an
say,
Iron
C2
Valiant.
is your hazard and your hazard remover.
Yeah, so I took up Donphan because unfortunately this gen, or this format, I should say, Paldea decks, really has limited options with the removal, with a lot of Pokemon losing the access to Defog, and only very handful of Pokemon having Rapid Spin that are inside the Pokemon Paldea's decks. So I chose Donphan because that is probably like the best thing I could get at the moment of drafting. So that's what I did. And then for the D tiers, I did take a Masquerain and Typhlosion. Masquerain just simply for the sticky web support of helping,
Mm.
just in case if I just wanted to go a little more offensive and just sweep my opponent as they don't have really good hazard removal, or I can pressure them to not be able to do it with my offense. And then Typhlosion, just basically a strong, fast fire type with Flash Fire that I can use to help out with that. So in E tier, I did take out Electrode Hisuian, who is a really fast electric type. He's also got the grass typing, which is really nice because that means he technically only has neutrality to ground instead of a super effective weakness. And yes, he does gain other weaknesses because of the grass typing, but either way, it is still nice because it's got a super fast high speed tier and has a great option for Volturn, especially with things like Azelf and Electrode and other things to help me move around and outspeed my opponents. I also gave it the Terra typing as a Terra Captain, making it grass and electric. I mean, grass and electric.
Electric and
Electric
ice.
and ice. Because, as everybody knows, electric and ice is just a stupidly great offensive combination for
Yep.
typings because it covers a lot. So next, I did take Lucario and Gyarados and alongside Zangoose and Houndstone. So the Lucario and Gyarados simply just put, I needed wall breakers and I just wanted some things to just be able to break. So I picked up two of the best breakers I could afford, and Gyarados and Lucario, because they're both fantastic wall breakers and can run multitude of sets. Lucario can go physical or special. Gyarados can run several different sets of DD, sub, whatever he wants.
And great abilities on top of that.
Yeah, true. Intimidate and Moxie. So if Gyarados was to ever pick up a kill inside a battle, he does get a free +1 attack, which already boosts his already sky high attack or to even higher levels. So it can make for a great mon to sweep or break down things to just let Iron Valiant clean up, or Gyarados can clean up, either or. And I also gave him the Terra typings of Flying and Fairy. Flying because there is really good flying stab is really hard to beat because, as we remember from the old days of Gen 6, bird spam is a real thing, people. And you want to spam every bit of flying stab you got.
And not
So,
everyone is brave enough to run that bounce Gyarados like I used to do.
and I also think it lost bounce now in this gen, so that's another thing. But, and then Fairy for the perfectly great defensive typing with only 2 weaknesses to steel and poison. It is just a great thing, and it also hits a multitude of other types as well. Zangoose was a cool just option, a low tier pickup. Can run Toxic Orb, and it can hit really hard, especially with a Terra Normal or fighting, so it's a great pickup. And then Houndstone is just a ghost for a really good typing and a cool abilities.
And so you guys see CB has 3 Terra typing because obviously, as we said, it was a 6-point Terra Captain rule, so Gyarados being
A tier 2, I was able to spread it out to lower tier Pokemon to help them possibly give them a good shot or give a really cool boost to them and run some really unique stuff.
yeah. So now you got 3 threats to look out for when you're about to battle CB and the Brooklyn Scizors.
A.
All right, moving on, we got now our boy Nate from the Waterville Weeballs picking up S tier
A.
Lando Therian.
Lando T, the scourge of OU. A thing that's been just there and dominating the metagame since he was introduced in Gen 5.
As
And
many
he's
people
just
said, that is back.
and he's just welcoming back and ready to take his rightful place on top of the throne as he dominates and continues to dominate the metagame with his stupidly incredible defensive typing and abilities.
Nate rounding out with that with Talonflame and Slow King.
Slow King. Yeah.
B tier, we got Earthworm and Rotom-Mow.
Rotom-Mow in the C tiers. And then D tier, we have Dash Bun and Frostlass.
And
Red.
E is Altaria.
Yeah. So for Nate's free picks, he chose a Zoroark, a Passimian, a Slacking for some reason, and
hey, Slacking's awesome.
not that. I
Just
will not.
just
I,
he's like he's a no comment. So you can say CB like no comment.
no comment. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
And the last poke he got is Glamora.
Yes,
so
the new Gen
one
9.
of the few new pokes I actually know because in my gameplay I actually use Glamora.
Oh, you're one of the actual people that did use it.
Yes, I'm actually also one of the people that played the game to the end.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I just thought Glamora looked cool. I obviously didn't know what it was, so it's like when I was like, "Hey, what is this? It looks kind of cool." And it's like every time I got hit, it just threw free hazards. It's like, all right, if I can live and not die, I'm throwing free hazards on the ground. So it's, all right, come at me, bro.
I still don't know what it is. It looks like a giant shell thing. It looks like a worse cloister, in my opinion. But
I think
that's
it's like
just
a floating flower thing. That's my guess. It's a floating flower thing.
well, it's stupid and dumb.
So Nate selected, of course, kind of like with CB, where this will be 3 Terra Captains. We got Slow King with the Water Fairy.
Great defensive typing. Slowking in general is just a regenerator abuser, so he likes to just come into battle, take a hit with his really tanky special defense, and he can also take a little bit of physical hits because of his naturally really good typing of Psychic and Water. And then the Fairy typing also just makes things a little bit more better for him defensively to be able to switch in on things. As mentioned before, Fairy only has 2 weaknesses in Steel or Poison, and then a Dragon immunity as well, so that is always really nice. And then Nate also took the Altaria to make it a captain, and he chose Dragon and Steel, which is also a very good typing. Steel is famously known to resist the most typings out of the entire game. I think it is at 10 resists. It might be wrong. Previously it was either 10 or 12. But either way, it resists a shit ton of things, and it is just a stupidly great defensive typing.
Resists everything but like 2 typings, I think, more or less.
So grass, ice, dragon, rock. What else is I'm missing?
I guess like the non things that is weak. So obviously, I think it's 2. I think it's ghost and dark are the only things that can go
through steel normally. Yes, that is correct.
I think water as well.
Yeah, water is neutral. Previously, steel and ghost was resisted in Gen 4, but that is not the point.
And I think everything else, like I said, if it resists.
Oh yeah, bug and flying are resisted. Fighting is super effective, so that's the 2 Fs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, resist a shit ton of stupid types, and that's why steel is one of the best defensive typings in the game.
Then his last one is Passimian, giving it a fighting and a dark terror typing.
Great offensive coverage. Hits almost everything. The only really thing it doesn't hit is fairies. So otherwise, yeah, the rest of the metagame is hit pretty much either neutral or super effective by fighting and dark.
So Nate got his team all balanced out in a sense. It's like, if he's gonna bring it out, is that gonna be for mostly defensive, but you still gotta be aware no matter which of the three he's gonna bring out that day. Our next captain is Blaze and the San Diego Charizards.
Yes, so Blaze.
Oh,
Good
Blaze.
old Blaze. Good old Blaze. So you
Now,
might have noticed that Blaze has two S tier type Pokemon. That is not a rule break. That is just completely fine. Blaze has recently learned and gotten himself the rule or the name of a loophole finder. So Blaze has found several loopholes in our rules and stuff, and he was able to take advantage of them.
I also
And
saw that
now
Blaze picked out a room next to me in the retirement home, so I think we could just say this is like a handicap he felt like he needed. So, hey, I'm all
uh,
for it.
no comment. No comment.
All right. So of course you can see his S tier.
His first S tier.
His first S tier was Zamazenta Crown.
Yes, the very dangerously fighting steel dog. And then his second S tier is Palafin Hero form. You might be wondering why you just see regular Palafin, but don't worry, it is trust me, it is Palafin Hero.
Yeah, you know, like
Ignore
every superhero, once you transform, boom, you're in there.
Yes, so the common thing with Palafin, he must come in as the normal Palafin, then switch out, and then the next time he comes back in, he returns as the hero form. You know, he does a quick change like Superman Cash. He goes in and finds his little phone booth, comes back out, like, hey,
had his protein shake. Yo, we in there.
we in there, man. We in there like cheese. Um, so next up, Blaze chose in his B tiers, he chose Iron Juggles and Gengar, the Paradox Hydreigon form, and then regular Gengar. And then for his C tiers, he chose Salazzle and Uxie, and then D tiers, he chose Werewolf.
Yeah,
I think that's how
deer.
whatever stupid deer that's basically Stantler, but normal or dumb, something like that. Whatever, I don't care about it. And then he chose Avalugg, Hisuian, that looks like it kind of has a rock beard or something in that, just by looking at that profile picture. Sorry about that, Blaze, if you take offense to that or something. But it does look like it has a rock beard, and it is a stupid thing.
Blaze can take offense to that, but he won't take offense to the word.
Yeah, totally not. Moving on, Blaze then chose his E tier as Jolteon, a very fast electric, and then we already covered Palafin hero form. Then he chose, as for his next three free picks, Blaze chose Klefki, Serena, and Sandaconda. So now you're looking at Blaze's team. It is really good, honestly, with Zamazenta and Palafin. He now has a very great tanky defensive core, also in a good offensive core with them. He can now do Blaze can pretty much just run bulky offense or just offense and win. And also for his Terra Captains, since we did not mention those, he chose Iron Juggles with Flying and Steel, and then he chose Hisuian Avalugg with Fairy
and Rock.
And then he chose Electric and Ice for Jolteon, just covering out the Bolt Beam coverages, stuff like that. For Zama's, and then for Iron Juggles, he chose Flying and Steel, which is just a great typing. It's basically Skarmory, but offensively.
Yeah. Skarmory Dragon.
Yeah, pretty much. Even though it is not really, even though it's Flying Dragon, and which is weird, but whatever. Moving on.
The captain, the return.
Oh yes, our favorite captain, Liam, the coach of the Meowchester United.
So he made sure he knew. He told us before the draft started that none of us better snipe Meowscarada.
And surprisingly, nobody did.
Well, now it's not even his first pick. It was he literally just told us, "Do not do this." How no one actually did it, I'm surprised, because he was able to pick it up later on.
Same.
But as you can see, his A tier was in fact Iron Moth, I believe it's called.
That is correct. The Fire Poison Volcarona.
You also picked out Paldean Water Tauros.
Yep. And then he chose Florgs, the bulky fairy thing. Or flower, rather, should I say. Then his C tier picks, he chose Braviary Hisuian, Fortress. Then in D, he chose Meloetta and Miss Magius. And then E tier, Liam chose his very old but trusty sidekick, Raichu.
And rounding out those free picks, besides the Masquerada we mentioned, Dragonite, Sneasel, and Knucklestack.
Yeah, the pre-evolution to Garganagel, the annoying rock monkey salt
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah. So going with his captains, he pretty much gave it to Iron Moth, giving a nice fire water Terra typing.
Paratype just makes it hit, just wants to break any ground types that ever did try to cover it. So, makes sense.
And then kind of like
The previous other captains we did, Liam chose Raichu and did Bolt Beam coverage because Electric Ice, as always mentioned, covers a lot and breaks a lot. So, might as well use it and abuse it when you can.
So I don't know, going off of the captain into his first mate, we got Lindo
Oh, yeah.
from
The
the Straw Hat Swampert.
Swampert. Yes, yes. Lindo, our favorite first mate. So Lindo for his A tier pick chose Annihilate, the now new evolution for Primeape, the ghost monkey, the ghost fighting monkey.
Which I will say is probably one of the coolest designs I think for evolution for older poke.
Yeah, you know what it kind of reminds me of, Cash? It kind of reminds me of like that Dragon Ball Z where Goku just gets like the spiky hair things. It's just like Primeape was in the gym working out, like gonna get stronger. Then
He's in that form where it's like they're like they haven't fully transformed yet, but like they're in that enraged, like the hair's coming out.
Yeah.
Because I think even in his sprite, he had one of his hairs is floating, kind of like a little spirit thing.
Okay.
So it's like I feel like Primate was like mid transformation. They're like, so you know what? I'm good as is.
Makes sense.
So Lindo for his B tier, kind of like not copy, I
like
guess,
this
but
for,
like tribute to his captain with the fire Paldean Tauros.
and then the Gastrodon.
And he got the Gastrodons. He picked out where there's no real like differentiation between the both of them. Actually, let me take that back. The only differentiation between the two Gastrodon, which for the longest time I thought there was none. I just thought one was just East Coast, one was West Coast. Surprisingly, one of them during level up gets Earth Power, I believe it was, and then the other one you have to actually use the TM. You have no other way around it.
And I believe Lindo prefers the blue one over the pink one, but I can be mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, I also prefer the blue one, which I think that's the West Sea Gastrodon.
I think so.
It's like, and on Iraqi, I think it's also the one that doesn't get the extra move.
Oh,
actually, no. West is the pink one, and blue is the East.
The East one. Okay, makes
and
sense.
I believe it's West Sea that gets the extra move, which is kind of funny.
Of course, they're just being biased to the pink one.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know what the differentiation really was. Like I said, it doesn't really change much. They still, at the end of the day, learn the same move anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. So moving on, we now have Lindo's C tier picks of Espeon and Satitan. The kind of like, I don't know what Satitan's supposed to be, but let's just consider it a weird. I don't even know what to consider it, but
I'm gonna throw out there and say, because part of me wants to say, could it kind of like a weird whale thing, but I don't think it was supposed to be a whale. It might be something probably related in that family because to me it looked like just like a spiky, angry Whalmer, especially in its pre-evolved form.
Makes sense.
But yeah, we'll find out what it is, but it is just angry, so that at least remains.
So next, then Lindo and his D tier picks chose Hisuian Quillfish and Abomasnow, helping Satitan complete the Slush Rush advantage with Abomasnow's Snow Warning. So Lindo can now be able to spam Weather.
Yep.
And has a Weather Sweeper on his team. For E tier, Lindo chose Tinkatuff. Good old Tinkatuff.
Emphasis on the tough.
Emphasis on the tough.
Look how angry it is. Look, it really wants to hit you.
It really does want to hit you with his stupid little hammer. Then Oinkoloin is his first free pick, then Regieleki as his second, and Namorous as his third, and then Spidey Ops for his fourth. So looking at Lindo's team cache, you can kind of see it's a little slow, but it still has its advantages. But you're going to definitely see Lindo start to run a lot of either Trick Room, Weather, something. Lindo's always going to be running some type of whatever he feels like it, because it's Lindo. He also has Sticky Web access, so you can definitely see Lindo possibly also doing Sticky Webs to help his Titan, even if he cannot get the snow up with Obama Snow.
Yeah, it's like I think he's planning on like, well, let's say in a random chance I lose my fast Regieleki. It's like if I'm losing my speed, you're gonna lose your speed, which is definitely why he picked the Spidey Ops, like you said, for the sticky webs.
Yes, 100%.
And because of, like we also said, it's Lindo, he's probably gonna find some way to get a kill with it.
Yeah, knowing him.
To add it to the Hall of Fame story of the Spidey Ops. All right.
The Hall of Fame Spidey Ops.
Moving on, we got our boy Lime and the problematic Porygons.
Hey, our fellow Brit. Well, our second Brit, because technically Liam's also British, but regardless. So Lime, with his first A tier pick, chose Chen Pao.
Move over Weavile. Someone else is on the block.
Yeah, a better one.
Yeah, that's the most knowledge I have about Chen Pao is that it's like you take Weavile and you make it better, and then you get Chen Pao.
Yeah, so Chen Pao has a really fun ability cache. It's basically his ability lowers your defense whenever he's out on the field, so you automatically start the battle with -1 defense, I believe. So any attack he hits you with, you're going to be feeling a lot of pain. He also has a really fast speed tier at above 130, and has a really good high attack stat. And as mentioned before, Dark Ice coverage is really, really dumb and hits a lot of things offensively. So good luck switching in. The reason why this Pokemon was banned in a regular OU for a reason.
On the B tier side, Lindo picked up
Lime.
Oh wow!
Don't worry about it.
Listen, we got the trip. We had the triple L's.
Yeah, we do have the triple L's back to back to back.
So that was also kind of fun with them drafting because I think they were trying not to snipe each other, which is the funnier thing. But yeah, Lime picks up Moltres and Sandy Shocks as his B tier.
Yes, the Paradox Magneton.
His C tier, he actually has
Tinkaton. He actually has the Tinkaton of evolution. He has the Tinkaton and the Cyclozar as his second C tier pick. And then in D tier, Lime chose Vaporeon and Arbolivia or Arboliva. Arboliva, the grass Pokemon with the harvest ability. Also, whatever. And then also in the E tier, Lime chose the Oricorio form, so he has access to all of the Oricorio forms
going on in the E tier block, as you can see.
100%. Lime is just going to start running all those different Oricorios, and he's going to start bringing them out every week with some brand new heat. And then for his free picks, Lime chose Hoopa, Venomoth, Quillfish, and Sneasler.
So I guess if you want to say it, we got Sneasler. I think is also better than Weavile. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely better.
Yeah. So this Dex just pretty much brought a whole bunch of things. They were just like, well, we know you like Weavile, so here's a better Weavile. I think it has one of its moves. I think it's really good. I don't remember if it's that it causes a status condition. I think it is.
I believe so. Yes.
So Lime's gonna be up to some tricky stuff.
He's gonna be bringing some shenanigans as always, knowing Lime.
So we got the Sandy Shocks and Oricorios with the Terra Captains.
Yes. So Sandy Shocks is gonna use the ground and ice, making it a really great offensive coverage, and that's all you really need. And then with the Oricorios, Lime chose fire and ground. As always, another great offensive combination.
Yeah. I know he's gonna be up to like some sort of shenanigans. Like it is Lime. Lime is known for like some very
unique
not
stuff.
Common, yeah, not common, not your common heat.
No, Lime goes up
most
a
people
level.
Cooking, I know, don't worry. Lime is baking, and don't you worry. This is some prime stuff he's cooking up.
Lime's got that A1 stuff cooking up, trust me. But I mean, Team in general is one of the better teams out there we have in this league. It's just the dark ice coverage with that, and then Sneasler and all the other things he has alongside it. He has the fastest rapid spinner in the game in Cyclozar, which is just fantastic. It also has Regenerator, so it really can't be worn down as easily. He has Sandy Shocks, another really great pickup there. So I mean, like, and he also has Spikes access with Quillfish, and in general, it's just a fantastic team.
All right, moving on. Our boy from down under, the ketchup lover himself, Kurt,
The ketchup lover.
with the Emerald Enamoresses.
Yes, and so Kurt started off his first pick with the S tier Iron Bundle. It is the best. No, actually, yeah, I made basically made Delibird useless and then turned him into a very good by just cranking everything up to extreme.
And like, listen, like Delibert's fine. Let's just like do a little dial, a little bump, and everything should be fine.
Totally.
And yeah, it brought bundles of something, all right.
Oh yeah,
Bundles of pain.
lots of pain.
Um,
Moving on. The
so we got Krook and Hisuing Gudra.
Yeah, the Dragon Steel Gudra, the cool one. Even the better one, even some may argue. But either way, we'll move on. So then Kurt chose for his C tier picks, he chose Decidueye and Hatterene. Then D, he went Lycanroc. I think that's Dusk or Night. Whichever.
Yeah, because they all have. We know it's the night one. That much we know.
Yes, I just know they're all different names. So
it's midnight.
I think it's Lycanroc. Is it
midnight.
midnight?
Yeah, it's
okay.
like, I believe it's like midnight, midday, and then there's the other one.
Yes.
Dusk. Yeah, dusk is the other one. Then there's midday, and there's this one which is midnight.
Okay. So then his second D tier pick was Delphox, the starter from Gen 6. Then he chose Alolan Raichu in E, and for his free picks, Kurt decided to take up Galarian Slowking, Pinchurin, Basculin, and Mabostiff, or Maspis, whatever it is.
Mabostiff.
Mabostiff, the dog thing from...
Grandpa Dog.
Grandpa Dog. Grandpa Dog Chase.
Yeah, and then, as you can clearly see, taking full advantage with his Terra picks on giving Gudra water typing along with Steel. And giving Delphox, well, most people I think actually wanted when they first saw Delphox.
Fire Fairy.
Fire Fairy. And I don't think people were really expecting Fire Psychic.
No, not at all. But, I mean, at least Kurt makes what the people want in through Terra.
And it could have been, at least he didn't pick Firefighting. Let's at least give him that.
Yes, at least he did not choose the stupid typing that's been used like 5 times already.
All right.
But looking over the overall roster, it is just a great roster in general. I mean, Kurt has Iron Bundle, a really fast water ice type. Its coverage is all it really needs. It's just water, ice hitting, and then he has Crocodile and Gudra and others that just basically help bring things in range of Iron Bundle because it will outspeed most things if they're not Choice Scarf or not naturally. And then he also has a cheeky little Pinchurin with Raichu, so allow Raichu to get his +2 speed because of his ability of under electric terrain. He gets double speed. And then Kurt also has a Basculin to really hit hard and revenge also with priority, so that's always nice. And then he has Galarian Slowking, which is just a great, fantastic Pokemon Regenerator to absorb hits and tank hits and basically be a wall for you.
I know there's a move I don't remember the name of it. I've seen, if there's one thing I've seen people with Slowking, is they keep using the same move, which I think it's a
Telereception.
Yeah, there's a pivot move, right?
Yeah, it summons snow and then pivots out.
Yeah, so I feel like we're gonna see a lot of that.
Definitely.
All right, we got our second to last captain. We got Owen and the Carolina Roaring Moons.
Yes, Owen, face that Cash is not familiar with because he wasn't around.
Nope.
No, but I still have knowledge of Owen. Others might know him because he's also a fantastic battler, and he also is also all over YouTube. If you search his name, Oglebeana, whatever, I can't pronounce it. Sorry, Owen. I don't know how to pronounce your screen name. I just prefer to call you Owen. Regardless, moving on. For Owen's first pick, he chose the Dragapult, the very busted pseudo legendary from Gen 8, the Dragon Ghost.
Yep, picked up that nice S tier.
Yeah.
In B tier, Sylveon and Hisuing Samurott.
Yep. The really great one that's actually in OU right now currently, but regardless. C tier, Owen decided to pick up the Bronzong and Hisuian Lilligant. And then D tier, he chose the Mudsdale and then the other thing that I do not know its name.
Rafai.
Rafai. Then in E, he chose Tauros, a great pickup in general. And then with his free picks, Owen decided to take up a Hisuian Arcanine, a Torkoal, a Scovillian, and then the electric bird,
Kilowattrel.
Kilowattrel.
Yeah.
Overall, just looking at the team, gosh, it is just fun. Owen is going to be bringing a lot of sun, and he's going to be spamming Choice Band Flare Blitz and Choice Specs Scovillian, and just breaking stuff down to, or even Lilligant too, but
Yeah.
in general. But for his Terra typing captains, Owen chose Hisuian Lilligant and Hisuian Arcanine. One is fighting, and then the other one is fire. And then Owen chose normal and
Rock.
rock. Got it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm
But
also
yeah,
not trying to figure out what these
I
icons mean.
same.
You would think they would have just chose the regular icon, but then they made some of them like more like harder to figure out what they are.
Or even understand what they're supposed to mean.
Let's say it could be, if you really want to see it worse, try doing the raids online and then trying to figure out what the icon means when you're going in.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
no,
regardless, looking at Owen's team, it's great. It's got great speed tiers with Dragapult, and then he has Sun to help boost anything that he might have any troubles with. So when battling Owen, always be careful of the weather wars that are going to be coming.
I think if I remember, Grafai I think also gets Prankster.
Yeah, it's an annoying little prankster like Sableye.
Yeah,
I
so
hate it.
so it's gonna be like a little annoying when we do some things, a little here, a little there.
Set up hazards, be annoying, do taunt, do stupid things, stop setup. Normal stuff.
And there's just one thing I really respect, if everyone here knows, I do love me some regular Tauros.
Yeah, you do love your regular Tauros.
Fun fact, in another league I was a part of, I made someone forfeit because my regular Tauros outsped their Mega Alakazam. I know, you're sitting there wondering how did that happen?
I so wonder how that happens.
They weren't planning on me
Running max speed.
max speed and scarfing my Tauros, so they chose not to run max speed on their Alakazam.
Oh, how
So
the
when
little
my Tauros one shot it, the dude forfeit. He's like, I have nothing to outspeed this.
hilarious, but fantastic either
Listen,
way.
Tauros is a good boy.
Good bull.
And then, of course, last but not least, is your last minute entry. Me.
Yeah. Why don't you go over your team, Cash?
Okay. So I was not part of the original draft. So my team was pretty much made from whatever was left over. So I went ahead and picked the A tier Lando Incarnate. For my B tier, we got the Magnezone and the good boy, the DK head himself, Garganackle, or as I like to call him, Garganachi.
Yes.
C tier, Gardevoir and Cresselia. D tier, Primeape and Bramblegast. The E tier, Pyroar. For the free picks, we got Dragalge, Greninja, Electros, and Kamala. Now, fun fact, I don't know how to use a lot of these things.
What a surprise.
We're gonna make it work. I'm pretty sure the only thing I've used that's on this screen, I've used Mega Gardevoir, so I know Gardevoir is the same, just slower and not as strong.
Yep.
And I think the first ever league that we ever did, when I had no idea what I was doing, I picked up Dragalge because I felt like it was good defensively.
Poison Dragon is a solid typing.
And yeah, but everything else on the screen, I've never used. I've used a Magneton, not a Magnezone.
Not even Lando?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
this is gonna be, like I said, this is gonna be fun because it's kind of like, you know how you stack up things. So like you got a retirement home person,
yes,
with Pokemon that he's never used. And when I don't know what I'm doing, I'm known for bringing things that make no sense. So, as Linda would say, he's probably gonna look at my stuff half the time and say that it's not a set. So I'm gonna try my best. That's all I can say.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Just do your best.
So I chose for my Terra captains Landorus. There's one thing as I mentioned when we talked about the Landotherian. I know Lando is just considered dad. I know Landotherian is the dad because
Yes.
this dad is usually banned.
Yes,
So
he
I guess
usually is.
if the other one is dad, I guess we could say this is granddad.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's usually banned. It's not banned. I'm gonna figure out why it was banned and make people angry.
Well, I don't think you'll do that. It did lose a significant chunk of what made it very, very good, but it still is very good. Good typing, great abilities, great ability. And sheer
uh,
force life orb, and it can spam earth power for stab.
then for after because I chose an A tier, I only have one E tier, so Pyro got the benefit. But regardless, as you can see, I chose very good defensive typings for both of them. So
Yeah,
Lando flying and fire, and for Pyro fire and grass.
yeah, I like it, Cash. Great defensive and great offensive typings.
So like I said, we're gonna see what I can do. Like I personally have not much faith in me, but I'm gonna have fun just trying out all this new stuff.
You're
That
gonna do amazing.
we'll see. So
We just
now, like I said, we'll see.
we'll see.
Maybe I'll remember in the middle of battle and become a threat.
Maybe
Uh
mid battle you'll awaken and unlock your ultra instincts.
exactly. Mid season, I'll remember what I'm doing and somehow make it to the playoffs like I usually do.
Sounds about right.
All right, so now our final thing, we're gonna go over the matchups. We actually have our week matchups. So
Yeah.
battle number one, CB, Brooklyn
Yes.
Scissors versus the Waterville Weavals.
AKA Nate.
So we got CB versus Nate right off the bat. Saw
Yep.
we went over both teams. That's actually most of these actually unironically, most of these first week matches are actually gonna be really interesting.
Oh yeah.
So this is fight one. Fight number two, we got the problematic Porygons versus the San Diego Charizards. So
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna
that's me.
so we're gonna have Heat versus OP.
Oh yeah. Gonna
um
be great.
Battle number three, we got the Emerald and Amherst versus Meowchester United.
We have the Aussie versus the Brit. Who
Yep.
is going to win?
Well, we'll see who truly is the master of the English.
My money's on the Aussie.
Oh, there you go, Kurt. You got someone got money on you. Yeah, let's be fair. I got money on the captain. He got a boat.
He's got both.
He got a boat. He's good. All right, week four, the Straw Hat Swamp. Week four. Wow, battle number four, the Straw Hat Swampards and the Carolina Roaring Moon.
Yeah, Owen versus Lindo. This is gonna be the battle of the Weather Wars. I can't wait to see who comes out on top.
This is like one. I feel like this battle itself would be like how most people always bring up like this
Gen
player
5.
versus this player versus that player kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like I'm pretty sure I think out of everyone in our league, like we said, Owen's like one of the few still going strong.
Yeah.
And Lynn, as many people remember, Linda was a really great battler from back in the day.
Yeah, but now he's retired. Or
Yeah,
was retired.
so imagine if we were to go back in time, pull out like Lindo who was
Peak
still
Lindo.
playing, peak
Peak Lindo
Lindo versus
versus
current Owen,
that'd be interesting.
and the fact that you're getting this week one on top of that,
I know. This is just like a bargain or a steal, rather should I say. But
and then
yeah.
the final battle we got is Shane with the Sarasota Fur Alligator versus yours truly.
Oh yeah.
I personally have always been a big fan of Shane. If someone's able to constantly make it to like top playoff position,
Yeah.
it's
I
someone
think
that
he's
obviously gets. I'm pretty sure he's made every single playoff that we've had.
yes, and I think he's made the finals. Like, let's see, season 1, yes. Season 2, no. I don't remember season 3 or 4, but I know he's made it at least a couple of
He's a
times.
very consistent. Like I think if you want to say people who always made it to playoffs, I think Shane's always the first person we mentioned.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Surprisingly, somehow I think besides with my first season, I think I've always made it. But
Still doesn't.
Shane is the first one you name. Like you're like, all right, who's made playoff? You're like Shane. There's like no, we don't have to like check the sheet. Nothing. Shane's there.
Yeah,
So like I said, I respect him greatly. We're gonna see how I'm able to do. I also don't know if Shane's as retired as I've been when it comes to battling.
that's a good
Um,
question.
so I'm gonna find out if he's like destroyed me very easily, or if it becomes kind of like a very easy. Oh yeah, we're in the same boat right now.
We're in the same boat. I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
I mean, we never know.
You never know.
So we're gonna be bringing back this channel to life. We're gonna be uploading these battles. I'm hoping to have these done. Hopefully, like so they'll be ready each week. Like probably maybe potentially Sunday. Like I have a very tight schedule, so everything's kind of like what little free time I had. I'm putting now with this. So once I do the recordings for all the battles, we're also gonna have a little recap thing. We're gonna talk about what's the MVP
Each
race looking like, what's the
what
standings looking like.
if there were any upsets, go over some of the matches, see what some people did, what they didn't do, what they brought, a whole bunch of things.
We'll see if we can sometime we'll get maybe some of the other coaches to come in and maybe be as a guest speaker in them.
Yeah,
We did
maybe
that
we'll get
before in the
our favorite
past.
local Aussie.
Yeah, we'll get Kurt back. We'll probably get Lime. I think Lime joined us a few times.
Yes,
Um, Hopefully we'll get Liam with his good mic.
if
Um,
Liam has a good mic.
but yeah, we'll get people like who'll be able to probably better explain what's going on in the battle than I will. Cause I'm gonna be like, yo, did you see that hit?
That hit. So that's
Like,
75%.
I'm gonna have like those. You guys gonna start quoting me. I'm gonna have like my hit lines such as like, "Did the crit matter there?" Question mark. I'm gonna be the announcer from NBA Jam. There you go. That's who I'm gonna be. Instead of saying, "Is it the shoes?" I'm gonna be like, "Did the crit matter?" Steve is gonna be like, "Yes."
Why?
So, all right, that is it for our draft video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, we'll be back next week. Cover up everything that happened in week 1. Again, your boy Cash Howard. Again, to my right, we got the one and only CB.
Yo,
So, hope to see you guys next week.
hopefully.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Drop it.